Hey everybody, today we're going to be going over the homework assignment for section 3-2, which is all about reflections. And I'd recommend, if you're doing this assignment, that you have your, let me zoom out here a little bit, that you have your reflection notes on standby so you can access them. Makes it a lot easier. So yeah, here we go. We're going to do the odds together. So the first thing it's asking us to do is to graph the image of the figure using the transformation given and then list the coordinates of the image. So this is our pre-image here. We have a triangle. We have D, E, and F. I'm going to go ahead and write those coordinates. So D is 2, 1. We're going to rewrite that because that looks terrible. 2, 1. E is going to be 2, 4. And then F, let's zoom in a little more actually. F is going to be 5, 4. And we're reflecting across the y-axis. And when we reflect across the y-axis, what happens is the x value changes. We get opposite x, y. Okay? So we're going to get D prime, E prime, and F prime. So we just change the signs of the x values. So 2 becomes -2. And then 1 doesn't change. 2 becomes -2. 4 doesn't change. And 5 becomes -5. 4 doesn't change. So let's go ahead and graph that. So -2, 1. That's D prime. E prime is going to be -2, 4. That's E prime. And F prime is going to be -5, 4. That's F prime. And this should preserve congruency, which it does. And here's our line of reflection. If you draw the line of reflection, sometimes that can be helpful too. So that's the line. So you can see it creates a symmetric image. Good. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next one. So reflect across the x-axis. I'm going to go ahead and draw or write the coordinates of the pre-image. R is going to be 0, 2. S is going to be 2, 3. T is going to be 3, 3. And Q is going to be 2, -2. Okay. And the reflection rule for here is going to be, we're going to change the sign of the y value. One thing you can do to remember it is it's always going to be the opposite variable. So if it says we're going to reflect it over the x-axis, when we're talking about axes specifically, you're going to change the sign of the other variable. So if it's the x-axis, it's the y variable that's changing. If it's the y-axis, it's the x variable that's changing. So let's go ahead and rewrite these. So we're going to have R prime, S prime, T prime, and Q prime. So we're going to change the y value. So 0, -2. 2, -3, 3, -3, and 2, +2. Okay, so 0, -2 is R prime. 2, -3 is going to be S prime. 3, -3 is going to be T prime. And 2, 2 is going to be Q prime. There we go, and you can actually see, again, if you highlight the line of reflection, it creates this like symmetric image. Pretty cool. All right, so next one. We're going to reflect across the x-axis. So let's write the points here. So B, C, D. So B is going to be -3, -4. C is going to be -1, +1. D is going to be 1, -1. And then we're going to go ahead and write the image here. So B prime, x-axis. So let's go ahead and write the rule here. So it's going to become x opposite y. So we change the signs of the y values. So -3, +4, -1, -1, and 1, 1. So -3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's our B prime. -1, -1. So C prime goes down here. And then 1, 1 is D prime. Here we go. And if I highlight the line of reflection, it's right there. Pretty cool. Zoom out here so you guys can see. And those are the first three. I actually did this one as an example earlier. Okay. So let's start on this side and zoom back in. Okay. So reflect across the x-axis. Let's see. W, x, y, z. W is negative 5, 3. X is going to be negative 5, positive 5. Y is going to be negative 4, positive 4. And z is going to be negative 3, positive 4. And our rule is going to be x opposite y. Okay, so w prime, x prime, y prime, and z prime. So we're going to change all the y values here. So negative 5, negative 3, negative 5, negative 5, negative 4, negative 4, and negative 3, negative 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph those. So negative 5, negative 3, and that's going to be w prime. Negative 5 is x prime. Negative 4 is going to be y prime. And negative 3, negative 4 is z prime. Yep, and it creates a reflection. Excellent. Okay, reflection across the x-axis. So we're going to go ahead and write these again. So H, G, F, and E. So H is going to be negative 3, negative 3, negative 5. G is going to be negative 1, negative 1. F is going to be 1, negative 1. And E is going to be 1, negative 2. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at our rule here. So it's going to be x opposite y, just like the previous one. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and write H prime, G prime, F prime, and E prime. Okay. And we're going to change the y values. So negative 3, positive 5, negative 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1, 2. Okay, so negative 3, 5. So 1, 2, 3, all the way up here. That's our H prime. Negative 1, 1. That's our G prime. 1, 1. That's our F prime. And 1, 2. That's our E prime. So connect those, and it should create a congruent image. There we go. Okay, last one on this page. Reflection across x equals negative 1. So this one's a little different. So we have to write the line of reflection because there's no reflection rule for this. So x equals negative 1 is here, and it's going to be a vertical line because x value is not changing. So that is our line of reflection. So I'm going to go ahead and write the points here. So E, F, G. So E is negative 4, 0. F is negative 4, positive 2. G is 0, 3. I had to think about that. Now we're going to go ahead and count. That's how we're going to do this. So G is 1 to the right of this line, so G prime should be 1 to the left of the line, because they should be equidistant from the line of reflection. F is 1, 2, 3, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. F prime's here. And then E is 1, 2, 3 to the left, so E prime will be 3 to the right, so 1, 2, 3. E prime. And that should be that. We have to write the coordinates now, so E prime, F prime, and G prime. So E prime will be, let's see, it's actually can get confusing when you have the lines drawn next to each other. It's easy for your eyes to think this is the axes. So 1, 2, so 2, 0. F prime is 2, 2. And G prime is negative 2, positive 3. Okay, so when you're doing these, make sure you highlight the line of reflection. You count the distance away for your pre-image, and then go the opposite direction with the same distance for your image. And then when you go ahead and when you're writing the coordinates down for the image, make sure you're careful, because if the line's next to your either axes, it can be very easy to think, oh, this is the origin, but this is not the origin. That's the origin. So just be careful of that. It's something to keep your eyes open for. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and write the rules. So this is where drawing is really helpful. So I'm going to just draw the line of reflection. Boom, right there. So that's the y-axis. Y-axis, the rule would be x opposite, opposite x, regular y, and change y. That's the y-axis. Here, it's going to be the exact same thing. It's the y-axis. So y-axis. And that means the x is changing value, the y is staying the same. This one's going to be the x-axis. So x-axis. And that means the y is going to change signs. Okay. Here, this looks like the y-axis. So y-axis means the x is changing signs. Here is not an axis. This is going to be x equals -1, it looks like. Yep. And there's nothing else to write besides that. And the last one, okay. That's going to be x equals, let's see, 1, 2, 3, -3. That's it. All right, so you can see when you write the rule for the reflections, it's much, much quicker than actually applying it. So those last few shouldn't take you so long. So hopefully that helps, guys. Check your answers. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you need me to explain any more, just let me know. All right, thanks, guys.